Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you this cute little Sweet as a Peach tag. I've modified this tag a little bit to hold a little gift item that I made for a team event last week. Slip the little cover behind the bottom and it closes quick and easy. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how I got started. We're going to start by scoring our piece of early espresso cardstock, and I'm going to take my scoreboard and score it at the 1 1/4 and 5 1/4 inch mark, and then I can set this to the side. Okay, now that I've got the scoring done, I'm going to begin building my tag holder here. I'm going to fold down on that first long panel, and I'm going to fold up on this bottom 1/4 inch section. I'm using my bone folder so those creases are nice and tight. At this point, I'm going to open it up with the larger panel on the bottom, and I'm going to bring in my 3-inch piece of designer series paper. And I'm going to adhere this on that longer panel. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to concentrate on this inside panel with this smaller 2-inch piece. I'm going to add my adhesive and I'm going to line this up equal distances from the top and the 2 side edges. There we go. And at this point I'm going to fold up that bottom flap and I'm going to bring in this small 1-inch strip of designer series paper and I'm going to adhere that onto the bottom flap like so. Now that I have my designer series paper attached, I can move on to the stamping. I like to start with my stamping, and so I've got 2 layering circles here and a piece of basic white cardstock that I'm going to begin with. I'm going to bring in my large peach image here and ink it up with the Calypso Coral and stamp it on the large strip here since I'm going to die cut this. And then I'm going to bring in the stem image here, ink it up with the Old Olive first, and then just tap, let's see if I can do this where you can see it, just the stem onto the Early Espresso, and I'm going to set that to the side here with plenty of room to die cut. Next, I'm going to bring in this large circle. This is the inside of my holder, and so I'm going to use the Let's Celebrate You image here, the sentiment, and I'm going to stamp that right in the center. And then I'm going to bring in this triple flower image, ink it up in the pale papaya, and I'm going to stamp those, let's see, around that sentiment. And I love the fact I can see through that, so that makes it quick and easy to do. The little image for the inside I'm going to do in Calypso Coral, and I'm just going to quickly stamp the center of those flowers. Not real happy with that first one, so let's see, I'm just going to add a second stamp and it doesn't look too bad. Then I'm going to bring in my small circle here, and I'm going to take the It's Your Day, ink it up in the Early Espresso, and I want to stamp this right above center on the left hand side. There we go. Now that I've got all my stamping done, I'm ready to cut out my peaches. I've got my treat tag base along with my little gem that I'm going to add to the inside here for my team member. This is celebrating a landmark event for them. I'm going to slide that in my little baggie, slide the charm to the top, set it right inside here. Fold this up, and then with my mini stapler, I'm going to take and staple this bottom flap up. There we go. Now I'm ready to decorate the inside, so I'm going to pull that down and bring in the sentiment piece that I stamped earlier. I'm going to add some adhesive onto the back. I'm going to set that off slightly to the side here so that it hangs off that designer series paper and adhere that. There we go. Now I can fold this closed and I can add the front. The first thing I'm going to do is add my little sentiment here. I'm going to add that right up in the top corner here. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in the peach. And I kind of want to gauge this so that I know there's going to be plenty of room. So I'm going to put this towards the center and kind of, leaning like that. And then for the stem, which will go right here, I'm going to take some mini dimensionals. I like the minis because you can kind of tuck them up right into these leaves and they fit nicely and you've got plenty of support. So I'm going to remove the backings. And place that stem right onto my peach where I want it. The last thing I'm going to do is bring in these beautiful champagne rhinestones. And as you can see, I love them so much, I need another package. And I'm simply going to add a little bit of shimmer and shine to this with my rhinestones by popping a few around that sentiment and the peach. There we go. It's that quick and easy. So I've got this beautiful gift holder tag combination for a treat. And you simply slip that top flap behind the bottom and it closes nicely for you. I hope you've enjoyed this project, and if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.